For as long as I can remember, hockey was the only thing where the noise of the world finally went quiet. For most of my life, hockey wasn't just a sport to me, it was an escape from reality. It was a place where I didn't have any expectations for myself, I just had to be a player and nothing else. In the early years of my playing career, the game was fun and effortless because of the people I had surrounding me. My dad acted as a constant source of encouragement. He was a shield I never knew I had. He always found the silver lining regardless of my performance. While this environment allowed me to fall in love in this game and had its benefits, it also meant I hadn't yet grasped the harsh realities of sports. Looking back, this was just the start of me blaming everybody but me. Everything changed during my freshman year of high school. Suddenly, the coaches weren't parent volunteers. They were coaches whose job depended on how the team performed. They didn't care if I was having an off day. They cared about my production and what I provided to the team. When my ice time started to shrink, I didn't change anything and kept playing like I was. It was too painful to admit that I wasn't the hardest worker in the room. This led me to not enjoy the game. I made loads of excuses and told anybody who would listen that the coaches had it out for me and that he was playing favorites. By blaming the coaches, I gave myself permission to stop trying. I didn't realize this changed my view of thinking. I thought the game was rigged against me. Why should I put in the extra work if I had no control in changing it? Through this, I was using my dad as an outlet for these excuses. I'd always complained about that stupid drill he ran and how awful of a coach he was. Through this, I noticed my dad's anger grow. I always thought he was just mad at the coaches. I never thought he was actually disappointed in me and my lack of work ethic. He just never wanted to tell me. When I had to choose a project for Mr. Daly's class, I followed my old pattern. I looked for the pattern of least resistance. I chose to help my dad coach his youth teams. In my head, this was a super easy way out. I figured I'd show up, blow a whistle, and that'd be it. While I claimed I was coaching, I wanted an easy way out to escape the class. For the first few weeks, it worked. My dad tried to ease me in, letting me only demonstrate drills. But then the workload shifted. He started asking me for practice plans and why I thought a certain player wasn't doing well. Suddenly, I wasn't just a helper. I was responsible for the growth of 20 kids. I gave up. Between my own practices, schoolwork, and my job, I stopped showing up. I lied to everybody, telling them the project was going great. I started to goof off in class, and I was being dragged into a black hole because I had nobody looking over my shoulder to tell me what to do. Mr. Daly assigned the Semester 1 reflections, something clicked in my mind. I realized I had nothing to reflect on but my own laziness. That's when something changed for me. I felt a deep sense of shame, not because I was caught, but because I realized I was becoming the person who gives up the moment things get difficult. I went back to coaching, with a different energy this time. I started staying up late with my dad, making practice plans, and trying to figure out how to explain it to the kids. I started to realize that the stupid drills my high school coaches ran weren't really stupid at all, and they all had a reason. The coaches never had it out for me. They were just waiting for me to show up and care as much as they did. I took this new mindset back to my own team. I stopped complaining and worked harder. I stopped looking at the coach as an enemy and started looking at him as a resource. This impact wasn't immediate. I wasn't a superstar overnight, but slowly, you could notice a change. I was finally doing the small things that won games. This gave me a newfound joy in the game again. Then the floor fell out from under me. During a game, I took an awkward hit. I didn't think it was bad, something that would just heal over time. However, it only got worse. It was invisible to everyone else, but screamed at me every time I played. In the past, I would have used this as an immediate excuse. I would have embraced the role of the victim and sat out, but I was so terrified of losing the progress I had made and the respect I had finally earned from my coaches that I played on it for weeks. This made it get worse. For 14 days, I lived in pain. Every time I got on the ice or even walked, I was trying to hide the signals from my body that something was wrong. Every time when morning came around, I had to take painkillers just to be able to walk with only a little amount of pain. I told my parents it hurt a bit, but it wouldn't have been more than a bone bruise. This wasn't about me trying to be tough. It was about the refusal to let go of what I had gained. I realized that the physical pain was nothing compared to the pain of going back to being the kid who gave up when things got hard. Eventually, the pain got so bad I couldn't hide it anymore, and I went to the doctor. When we got the MRI back, it showed a broken femur, and every part of my knee was damaged. I was officially ruled out for the rest of the season. I was devastated. While I was tempted, the old me never returned. If I had stayed or went back to my old way of thinking, I would have used this recovery time as an excuse to do nothing. Instead, I kept moving forward, focusing on how I could recover and come back better.
This lesson has helped me in a bunch of other
I went back
ways.
to help my dad coach.
With my job,
I realized
just
those
my life
coaches
at
I
home.
once thought
However,
hated
most
me
apparent
were actually the ones
school.
rooting for me the
When
most.
I used to get a bad
When
grade,
they found out
I was
had
just
been
saying
playing
because the teacher
that
didn't know how to
pain,
teach.
they saw a
Or it
player who
wasn't my
finally
fault.
cared. I
Even
learned the
though
hard
it
way
was
that
a
the
product
path
of my
of
own
most resistance is
procrastination.
the only way
Now, when I
that
get a bad
leads
grade,
to a
instead of
person you
blaming
can
the
be proud
teacher, I
of.
look over my work and
I've
realize
learned that the
most
easy
of the
way
time,
out of
the
blaming
assignment
others,
I did
quitting,
was pretty
and faking
bad.
the effort
The
is
skills
actually the
I've
hardest
learned in this
path to take
class will
because it
change
leads
my
nowhere.
my
It leads you with a
perspective on
fake
life
version of yourself.
forever and the way I
This
see
lesson
things.
of
While
not
the
blaming
bone is still
others impacted me throughout my life,
While the
not
bone is
just
still
through hockey.
healing, the work ethic I found in here is permanent. I'm slowly healing. However, the lessons I learned in this class I will never forget.